So finally, we're starting our new journey on WordPress plugin development masterclass. So in this course, we will try to learn everything about WordPress plugin development, from creating a basic structure to a complex project, and we will try to build a full project from basic to super advanced in this course. Let's discuss about what we will discuss on this course and what you will learn on this course. First, let's see what is our course agenda. First, we will familiar on introduction to plugin, like how plugin will work and some other stuff. And then we will talk about how WordPress plugin development framework works. And then we will discuss and see how to use WordPress dashboard and settings. In fourth, we will discuss about security and performance. And then we will talk about WordPress hook. After complete WordPress hook, then we will navigate to JavaScript. After complete JavaScript, we will see the content, the main part of WordPress plugin development. And then we will see how we will create and manage all the user and will manage user data. And another most important part for WordPress, which is for schedule task. In this chapter we will see a lot of things, how to schedule any program, how to run based on every day or hour or every year or month, a lot of stuff. And in internationalization section, we will try to learn how we will create or give support to multiple language for multiple country. And in REST API section, we will discuss about how to create REST API and manage REST API to connect between frontend and plugin. Maybe your site is on React, or maybe you want to create create a connection with your Android or iOS app. For this, you can use REST API on WordPress. And after that, we will discuss about WordPress multisite. So what is WordPress multisite? WordPress multisite is one website. You will have one code base, but you can create multiple sub-site. Okay? And then we will discuss about on debugging. Of course, when you will write your plugin or your code, then you will face a lot of issues, right? If you want to fix these issues, debugging will be help a lot to you. And finally, developer toolbox. In this developer toolbox, we will try to discuss about some community on WordPress and how you will get support after this course. Sometimes maybe you will work on something but you need to support. For that, this chapter will help you. Fine. Now let's get little bit details on every part. The first, we have introduction to plugin. On introduction to plugin, we will learn what is plugin, and then the advantages of plugin, why you will create plugin, why you will not use theme, or why you will use theme instead of plugins, or how you will create a connection between all of them. And then we will discuss about installing and managing plugin, how you will install a plugin and manage like delete, activate, unactivate, and lot of other stuff. And finally, it has a summary that we will discuss a little bit go through all of this. Then the second chapter, which is plugin framework. In this plugin framework, first we will see the requirement of plugin. So there are some basic requirements for plugin, and in here we will discuss on that. And then it has best practice. Of course, we will discuss about how to write better code on WordPress plugin and what best practice you will follow in future. And most important part, which is WordPress plugin header. WordPress plugin can't be created without WordPress plugin header. So in this chapter we will try to learn about WordPress plugin header. Then it has determining path and activate and deactivate functions. In activate and deactivate functions, we will try to completely go through what function you will use for activate, what function you will not use to activate or you will use for deactivate, and then uninstall method. Uninstall method basically is run when you will remove your plugin or delete your plugin, so we will discuss on that also. And again, coding standard, we will discuss little bit about coding standard, how you will follow the best practice on WordPress plugin development. The next part, dashboard and settings. On dashboard and settings, first we will see how we will create a menu and then its submenu, and then we will see what is WordPress plugin settings and how we will integrate that. Then another most important part, to store your data on WordPress plugin database, which is options API. In this part we will see details about WordPress options API. And then it has settings API. If you need any type of settings, like maybe some general information or you will get some data from user as a settings, so you can use settings API, which is API from WordPress. And another thing is, of course, keeping it consistent and summary. After that we will discuss about security and performance, the most important chapter for WordPress plugin development. First we will see about the security overview, and then we will discuss about some user permission, like how you will check a user if it's login or user have some permissions or have rules, some capability, and lot of other stuff we will discuss on this chapter. And then another thing is nonce. To validate a user, if user is authentic, we will use nonce for that. And then data validation and sanitizations. In this chapter we will learn about how we will validate the data and sanitize. Why it's important? Hacker can attack on your site by malicious code. For prevent this we will use validation and sanitization. And formatting SQL statement, so we will little bit discuss about SQL also. And then it has security habits and performance, so we will discuss on security good habit and some performance, like basically we will discuss about transient API, which is coming from WordPress for caching purpose. And the caching, the same thing, transient, that I have already discussed. So basically performance, caching and transient, these three I have merged on transient, means we will discuss on transient. And last, the summary, we will discuss a little bit, go through all of this. So after that, the most important part for WordPress, which is hook. Basically WordPress stands on hooks. So anytime if you want to create any type of plugin and you want to give a complete functionality a complete control to your users, that time you will need to hook. So in this hook chapter, first we will try to learn about understanding the hook, and then we will discuss about some actions. We will talk about filters. So basically actions and filters, these are two hooks on WordPress. Then we will discuss about how to use hooks on a class and how use a hooks with anonymous functions. Then we will create some custom hooks so that you can understand how to create your custom hook also. And we will discuss about how to finding hook. So the best way to find a hook for any type of WordPress plugin or project. And finally it has summary. So after hook we will discuss about JavaScript, like how to you will register any type of script, maybe CSS or JS, and after register to display on WordPress or make it work, you will need to enqueue. So in this part we will see about how to enqueue also, and for the limiting scope. So it's a best practice to enqueue the limited page, only which page you will need it to use the hook. So you will not randomly show use all of the page, right? You will not enqueue your CSS or JS on all of this page. If it is, then it will be heavy and will be a lot of issues to your users. So then we will discuss about localizing WordPress script. This is basically the part to transfer your code from WordPress to JavaScript. So if you need any data transfer from WordPress to JavaScript, then you will use localizing WordPress script. And we will discuss about inline script and overview of bundle script, and finally custom script and jQuery. And for bonus part we will discuss about Ajax and final summary. Okay, then another most important part for WordPress, which is content. So in this content chapter we will talk about creating custom post type, why you will need it, how you will create this post type, all of this will describe here. And then post metadata, basically this is related to custom post type, but every post maybe have not enough data for your requirement or maybe for your client requirement. For that you will need to add extra metadata for each post or extra information for each post. So we will discuss how to add extra information on each post in post metadata chapter. And then we will discuss about how to create a meta boxes. Meta boxes is basically the box where you will add your fields and you will save this meta values as post metadata. So we will discuss a lot of things on this chapter. And then it is creating custom taxonomy. So after post type it has some taxonomy also, like you have product itself is post type, but product has product category or maybe product tags, right? So these are taxonomies. So we will discuss about how to you will create your own custom taxonomy for each post type. And then we will talk about how to you will use custom taxonomies, not only create, how to use also. And finally the summary. Then next part is user and user data. So first of all we will talk about working with users. why user is important on WordPress, how user is managed on WordPress, what rules and capabilities are, and how you will work with that. We will discuss everything on this chapter. And then it has rules and capabilities. This is another very important chapter for WordPress. Like maybe you were student, so student is a rule, and you can purchase a course, you can maybe see a course, you can take the examinations. These all are capabilities, so we will discuss on that. And then limiting access, like if you are thinking about an LMS or learning management system, then maybe super admin can do everything, and teacher maybe can create the courses, he can create announcement, and student can get the courses, he can purchase courses, he can see the course, he can take assignment, get the certificate, and lot of other stuff. So everything is basically we're taking a limit for each role, like some limit for students, some limit for users. So we will discuss a lot of these about limiting access on users and users data chapter. And then we will talk about how you will customize rules, like how you will add some rules, how you will remove some rules, or maybe modify some rules and other stuff. And finally we will give a summary for that. And then it has schedule task. So schedule task is basically if you need to do one task on every day, or maybe every hour, or maybe every year, so you can do all of this, the automatic process by WordPress schedule task, which is called cron. So in schedule task we will briefly discuss about cron, which is used for schedule any type of task. And then we will discuss about how you will schedule cron events, and about true cron and practical use, how cron will use on practical life. Okay, and then we will discuss we will basically give a summary on all of these things. So in internationalization chapter we will discuss about what is internationalizations, what is localization, why you will need this, how you will get benefited from internationalization and localizations, and lot of other stuff. And we will create a translating file on this chapter, and finally we will create a summary for that. And REST API. In REST API chapter we will see what is REST API and what you can do with REST API. So how to access WordPress REST API. Maybe you have an Android app on Flutter, or maybe React Native, or maybe your front end is on React and back end on WordPress. So why that time for communicate front end and back end, or maybe Android or iOS to back end, WordPress back end, you will need REST API, right? So how to access the WordPress REST API we will discuss about on this, which REST API are providing from WordPress. And then we will talk about HTTP API. HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Basically for transferring the text, it has some rules or protocols, so we will discuss on that. And WordPress HTTP functions. So WordPress have some HTTP functions like WP Remote and WP Remote Get and some other functions. We will discuss more about that on this chapter. And we will bringing this all together. Basically we will create a plugin for REST API, and we will create some custom endpoint for REST API and how you will access on that. And we will give a summary that we have already done on REST API. And then on multi-site we will discuss about terminology on multi-site, what is advantages of multi-site, and then enabling multi-site in WordPress. So basically multi-site is a great concept on WordPress. Like you have one shop, okay, so you have one shop and you were selling multiple product. Maybe you were selling some t-shirt, you were selling some electronics, you were selling some beauty product. So what you will need, you will need three websites, right? One is for t-shirt, one is for electronics, and one is for beauty product. So you will not to create three website separately, it will be one parent website and these all two others will be child website. So you can handle all of these by only one user as a one admin. So a lot of other stuff we will discuss on this, and we will discuss some multi-site functions and the database schema, how database schema are created for WordPress multi-site, and query class, object class, and finally some summary. So we will discuss a lot of things on multi-site, and then the debugging, the another important chapter on WordPress. So when you will work on WordPress, you will face a lot of problem, right? So fixing the problems you will need to debug your code. So we will discuss about compatibility, and we will discuss about how to you will debug on your code and how to you will log your error, and another most important plugin for debugging, which is Query Monitor. It will give you a lot of information for your project, like how every query are taking some times, how any functions are getting how much times, what is the actual error, from where is coming. A lot of things are we can see from Query Monitor, and we will discuss all of this in summary sections. The last, the developer toolbox. So in this developer toolbox we will show some code as a reference. You will see how you will use codex as a reference, what is tool website, community resource. We will discuss about some community resource, so this is the WordPress. So we are now in the end of WordPress development course introduction, and I think I will add some more chapter on future, like how you will use WordPress database. We will a lot of thing discuss on WordPress database, how you will create schema, how to create database, how to insert a lot of things, and how you will create connections, the database view, and maybe database subquery, and a lot of other things we will discuss later. And finally we will add some project, okay, some real project on my last 6 years experience and 2 years experience as a WordPress team lead.